200 years have passed since Ripley died fighting aliens, and now the scientists in the USN Auriga are working to clone her as a secret project for the military. They've collected some blood from the place where she died, and it takes them 8 tries to finally grow a body that survives the process. Once she's ready, they operate on her to access her womb because an alien impregnated her before she died. Dr. Wren and Dr. Gettman are excited to discover the baby alien has been cloned as well and take it away in a capsule for further study. At that moment Ripley wakes up and grabs a doctor's hand to smash his face against the glass, but the others immediately knock her out. 3 days later Ripley wakes up again inside a cocoon-like fabric and finds the number 8 tattooed on her arm. The doctors do a routine check and are surprised by her perfect health. The scar from the operation is already healing and has become very small. When Wren comes too close to taunt her, Ripley grabs him with her legs, proving she now has great strength. Then she tries to choke him, but a guard quickly comes in and knocks her out again. Afterward Ripley is put through different tests related to language and learning, showing very fast progress and impressing the doctors. They conclude her superior body as a result of her DNA mixing with the aliens. When they show her a picture of a child, Ripley cries because she remembers her dead daughter and the kid she lost during a mission. This angers General Perez because the army wants numb clones that won't think, but it seems Ripley still has inherited memories. Perez argues with the doctors, saying he won't hesitate to kill Ripley if she even attempts to misbehave. Then he checks on their other experiment. It turns out the alien they took from Ripley is a queen, who is also growing fast and will soon lay eggs. During lunch, Gettman and Wren explain to Ripley how they got her blood to clone her and confirm they've captured an alien. She can guess they have a queen and warns them everyone will die, but they don't take her seriously and Wren even insults her. Sometime later, a spaceship known as the Betty arrives at the military station. The crew is formed by mercenaries, and Johnner likes to play with knives. He throws one at Engineer Vries's leg because he's paralyzed from the waist down, but Call doesn't like this type of joke. The station's guards check that the crew isn't armed and the mercenary leader Elgin announces he's brought the cargo. It turns out they were hired by Perez to kidnap a bunch of civilians that they could use for their alien experiments. After getting paid, Elgin asks for room so his crew can rest for a couple of days. Perez agrees as long as the mercenaries stay away from the labs. The sleeping victims are taken to the lab and the doctors put a bunch of alien eggs in front of them to impregnate them. Meanwhile Ripley is playing some basketball by herself to test her new abilities, proving her strength also comes with good speed and fast reflexes. The mercenaries find her and Johnner tries to play with her, but Ripley moves quickly and doesn't even let him touch the ball. When Johnner comes too close and tries to flirt rather creepily, Ripley immediately brings him down with just 2 moves. Another mercenary throws the ball back at her and when Ripley turns to catch it, Christie hits her with some gym weights. Ripley's nose bleeds but she isn't too bothered, so she quickly brings down Christie as well. At that moment the doctors come to take her away, so Ripley throws the ball perfectly and wipes her nose before leaving. The blood falls on the floor and dissolves the metal, revealing Ripley's blood is now an acid just like the aliens. Sometime later, Gettman checks on the alien experiments, and one of them growls at him through the glass. Gettman makes faces at it and kisses the window, but when the alien snarls, he releases some freezing gas to calm it down. Now the alien steps back whenever he threatens to press the button. Meanwhile Call pretends to be drunk so her crewmates kick her out of the room. She sneaks around and uses a special spray on a lock to access Ripley's containment unit, where she takes a closer look at her. Seeing the scar, she concludes the alien was already removed. When Ripley wakes up, Call offers to kill her, but Ripley isn't scared and makes a bold move. Call has to watch how her blade goes through Ripley's hand and the blood corrodes the blade, and when she takes the knife back the hole quickly closes. Then Ripley makes Call touch her face, saying she can sense the aliens. Call wants Ripley to help her kill the aliens, however Ripley says it's too late. On her way out, Call is intercepted by guards and Wren. Then the mercenaries are yelled at by Wren, who points out they've broken the only rule and threatens with execution. The mercenaries immediately open fire and a gunfight ensues with the guards, but Elgin's crew works together to overpower them and easily bring down all the soldiers. Then Elgin demands to know Call's real intentions, so she confesses she's an undercover agent who came to stop the doctor's illegal experiments. At the lab, Gettman sees this and tries to call security. While he's distracted, 2 of the aliens in the cell gang up on a third and kill it, causing its acid blood to eat through the floor. All this is sensed by Ripley and her unit. Gettman tries releasing the gas but it's too late, the aliens have escaped through the hole in the ground. When Gettman goes to take a closer look, an alien claw reaches out and kidnaps him. As the alarms start echoing in the ship, a guard also enters the cell to check the hole, only for an alien to press the button and kill him with the freezing gas. The Betty crew drops the argument to run while the soldiers rush to the pods to escape. The first one leaves safely, but an alien manages to get into the second one and starts killing the soldiers. Before the hatch closes, Perez throws a grenade inside the pod, which explodes as soon as it flies away. While he's distracted, an alien appears behind him and kills him. Vries is in another room looking for parts when he sees an alien above him, so he shoots it and causes some acid blood to fall. His leg doesn't hurt but his hand does, so he starts shooting like crazy. The other alien is trying to reach Ripley, who uses her super strength to open the control panel and her blood to cause the circuits to short, opening the door to finally escape. The mercenaries are making their way back to their ship, but Elgin splits from the group when he sees Vries's weapon on the ground. Suddenly something startles him, but it's just some tubes falling. Once he steps closer to the fallen weapons, an alien reaches through the grate and kills him. The crew hears him scream and comes for him, but it's too late. The alien appears behind them, so they try to run away, only to find the door locked. When the alien takes a closer look at Elgin's body, it's suddenly shot by someone in the hole. It's Ripley, who had been hiding. The mercenaries get angry and threaten Ren until he admits there are 12 aliens in the station. The group agrees to team up with Ripley despite Call's protests, and before they leave, Ripley takes the alien's tongue for Call to have a souvenir. As the group moves, they reunite with Vries. Ripley then announces she can sense the station is moving, and Ren confirms autopilot kicks in during emergencies. The station is going back to Earth and nobody likes the idea because the planet is currently a wasteland, so they need to find the Betty. The group keeps on moving, but Ripley stops when she finds another lab. Inside, she's horrified to find the failed clones, who have become hideous creatures. Numbers 1 through 6 are dead and contained in stasis tubes, but the 7th is still living, kept alive on a table by tubes and ventilators. Number 7 asks for mercy, so Ripley uses a flamethrower to kill her and destroy the whole lab, burning down the other clones too. Call is also disgusted and punches Ren for it. In another room, the group finds the victims the mercenaries brought for the experiments. At first they think everyone is dead, but a man called Purvis suddenly starts yelling. He calms down when he sees they won't hurt him. However, when Ripley smells him, she confirms there's an alien inside him and doesn't want to bring him along. Call refuses to abandon him and says that if they get to escape fast enough, they can put Purvis in cryostasis for surgery later. The team continues to make their way to the Betty, bringing Purvis along. The next area they need to cross, it's the mess hall, which is now completely underwater because of the emergency sprinklers. Vries has no choice but to leave his wheelchair and get harnessed to Christie's back. Unfortunately, the next corridor is even more flooded and the group has to swim to cross it. Soon 2 aliens appear behind them and Johnner immediately shoots one down, but the other keeps going and manages to capture a mercenary, taking her away. With the alien busy with its kill, the group continues to swim only to find the area covered with a nasty membrane. Ripley breaks it with her strength and everyone resurfaces to breathe again, but there's a nasty surprise waiting. They're surrounded by alien eggs. A creature jumps out of an egg and grabs Ripley's face, so she goes underwater to struggle against it until her strength kills it. The rest of the group also goes underwater and shoots a bunch of grenades through the hole to kill all the eggs. At that moment the alien from before reappears in the water, so the group leaves through the hole and starts climbing a ladder. The door at the top won't open and Ren takes Call's gun with the excuse of shooting the lock, only to shoot her instead. Call falls in the water and furious Vries tries to shoot Ren, who moves aside and lets the shots finally open the door. He immediately leaves and closes the gate behind him. Soon the alien comes out and starts climbing the ladder as well. The guys try to shoot it and cause some of the acid blood to splash, which hurts Christie. Johnner opens fire as well and kills the alien, yet the creature is still holding onto Christie's foot while Vries holds onto the stairs. Wanting to save his friend from the extra weight, Christie releases the harness and falls to his death with the alien. The group wonders how they'll escape, only for the door to suddenly open and reveal Call on the other side. Everyone manages to get into a safe room and Ripley checks Call's wound, discovering that she's actually an android. Call confesses that she's one of a legendary second generation of androids who were so lifelike that they gained consciousness and rebelled, burning their internal wireless modems and trying to pass themselves as human. Knowing what androids can do, Ripley takes Call to a small chapel and makes her connect herself to the station's computer. Call confirms the station is heading to Earth, where the aliens could escape and infect the human race. The station has burned too much energy for Call to blow it up, so Ripley tells her to program the ship to make it crash instead. At the same time Ren is about to reach the Betty, so Call blocks the doors for him and talks through the speakers to tell the aliens where he is. The team starts moving toward the Betty again, and Johnner freaks out when he hears the station will crash soon. He tries to attack Call, but Ripley immediately grabs him by the neck and threatens to take his tongue. At that moment she hears a sound and says the Queen is in pain, only to suddenly be snatched through the floor by aliens. However, the creatures don't hurt her. Because of her changed DNA they recognize her as their own and take her to their nest. Meanwhile the rest of the group makes it to the Betty, where Purvis is suddenly shot by Ren. The doctor takes Call hostage and while they pointlessly argue, the alien finally comes alive in Purvis' chest, forcing him to move toward the Ren. Bullets don't stop him and soon Purvis reaches Ren to start beating him down. At that moment the alien finally comes out, so the mercenaries open fire and kill both Ren and Purvis at the same time. Back to Ripley, she discovers the nest is crawling with aliens and the Queen herself. A cocooned and delirious Getaman is there with the other victims and he tells Ripley that the Queen inherited her human reproductive cycle. After laying her first round of eggs, she gives birth as a human being would, developing a uterus-like pod and birthing a bizarre creature that is half human half alien. The newborn immediately kills the Queen and licks Ripley, claiming her as its real mother. When Getaman starts talking again, the newborn bites off the top of his head. Ripley uses this distraction to escape and runs to the Betty, which is about to leave. Luckily she jumps just in time and rejoins the mercenaries at the cockpit. While the Betty takes off, Call notices a door is still open, so she goes to close it, only to discover that the newborn has sneaked inside. While she dodges its attacks, the ship starts shaking because it's rather unstable. A mercenary comes looking for Call and the newborn immediately kills him. Ripley is suspicious of how long Call is taking and runs to the room 2 in time to find the newborn clawing at Call's wound. She pretends to be a good alien mom and comforts the newborn, distracting it while she throws some acid blood at the window to create a hole. This depressurizes the cabin and sucks the newborn onto the window. Call and Ripley hold on and are horrified to watch how the hole slowly sucks out the newborn's insides until it's finally dead and its whole body is thrown into space. At the same time, the military station crashes on Earth and explodes, killing all the aliens inside. In the cockpit, Johnner and Vries try their best to control the ship considering they aren't pilots. There's some more shaking and lots of heat, but thankfully the ship lands safely on Earth and everyone is alive. Ripley and Call sit together to stare at the remains of a city, wondering what to do next. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.